welcome to Fake Deep Thinking. Just a group of friends sitting down, talking about the world. Today we have with us John,
Bada-bing.
Doc,
Yo.
and myself, Eugene. All right, so the first topic we're going to react to is apparently this week in NBA, fans have been getting bold. John, you went to the game this weekend, right, with the Atlanta and the Knicks, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So did you see it live, or you just heard about it afterwards?
That was game two.
Oh, that was game
That
two.
happened in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So real quick, we got a
and they've been beating our ass ever since that happened.
it's 3-1, right? Yeah.
I sincerely feel we're getting our ass whipped because of that guy. Like that the rage that Trae Young had after that. Okay, he just said, "See you in Atlanta," and they rightfully they whooped our ass.
Makes sense. All right, so we got a quick little montage of some of the stuff that's going on. We'll start here. We got Kyrie Irving, right? Kyrie Irving, that's Kyrie Irving?
Correct.
Can't really tell from the jersey. Walking out, and it looks like someone throws a grenade. Misses him, fortunately, but they threw a grenade or a Gatorade. Yeah, I said a grenade.
I was like,
said
yo,
grenade.
what the fuck, dude?
Whoa!
I said
Hella
grenade.
serious.
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, Gene, this is a totally different situation."
Gatorade, yeah, Gatorade. I apologize. Well, that actually was a Powerade.
I thought that was like lingo for something,
Yeah.
but then you like kept saying it. I was
did.
like, "Oh God!" I think he actually.
Yeah,
meant
he said it
grenade.
twice, and that's why I was just like, yo, this how is this not national news? Like, I don't understand.
Who jumped on it?
My bad. It's because we watched the other thing. The song.
yeah,
The song
fine.
we did. It had grenade, Doc's grenade. Anyway, they threw a Powerade, blue Powerade, and it was full, too. That's the crazy part. It was full. Look at that.
That's rowdy.
That's a waste of a Powerade.
Yeah,
Look
bro,
at- look
if
at
you
his
get hit by the
face.
cap part too. That's a solid bonk, man. If you get hit with the cap, if it's full.
Then it goes to, who's next? Westbrook?
Westbrook.
Yeah, Westbrook. So then we got Westbrook trying to leave.
You can pass forward now. Oh, it goes straight to it. Okay.
Yeah, it does, right here.
And he's walking off injured.
Hey, oh, he's walking off injured.
Yeah, this is
Damn.
during the game.
And then, boom, drops popcorn.
And automatic injury healed.
So they about injury healed. Now look at him.
I know, right? And he's like, it don't hurt no more.
That's adrenaline right there.
No,
He's
adrenaline.
pissed.
And Westbrook gets picked on a lot by fans.
Now this is the Atlanta one.
This man spit over 50.
This is the worst one, dude. Spitting. That's disgusting.
And Trae Young didn't notice it, so he got out with him. Now, I want you to type in a video. Type in.
Did he notice though?
No, he didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't see him
He
react.
didn't notice. He found out after the game. Type in Malice in the Palace.
He kind of looked like he
Malice
got like
in
wet a little bit, but like he
The
didn't-
Palace.
In the
Palace.
this thing or just
No.
Just-
Then type in Pacers right there. Pacers.
this one right here, the first one.
Yeah. Well, scroll down a little bit. See if there's a shorter version. Nope. Click the 6-minute one.
Okay, I can just fast forward
Yeah.
through it.
I want
I feel like I've seen this.
Yeah, you have seen this. Right there. Wait, no, you
Okay,
actually go
right
on
here.
to it. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I've seen this clip. It's an old clip. Yep.
Whenever I see like sports teams fight, I think of that scene from The Other Guys when they're in the library, or no, they're in that person's like funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just screaming,
Like
he's
a run-on
"Why you
test
guys
scene."
doing this? Y'all getting around crazy.
Look, run our text. Boom. Bottle hits him.
Throws the bottle he's laying down and it
Now
just makes
watch
things worse.
Watch what happens right happen.
Comes straight at him. Yep. My question is, was it him though?
Him and that
Dang.
guy are best friends now.
The fan.
The fan.
Now it's all right.
Okay. So my point being, these are 6 foot plus,
Yes.
the
Huge
most
man.
athletic human beings our country has to offer in their sport.
Mm-hmm.
These men are considered the best in the world at what they do.
Yep.
Now, I know the reaction was, what is he going to do about it? What is he going to run up there and hit him?
Yes.
Because if you watch Westbrook's interview after, he said, if we were in a regular circumstance and we were walking on the street, do you think he would have had the confidence to pour that popcorn on my head?
No.
So what is it? What dynamic is it that allows him to feel comfortable to do so here? The NBA needs to do something about this.
So John brought this up, and I made a point, and I'll make the point again here. So my argument as to why fans might be feeling more emboldened or confident in their, would you say or agree with the word like not
Behavior.
rebellion, but behavior, is I would put a little credence on the defund, abolish the police movement. The police abolish the police represent a level of consequence, right? And now that embodiment of consequence is being challenged, suppressed, people now are feeling more like I can do this, and the odds of me suffering the consequences are low. Like I'm not going to go to jail for this. I'm not going to blah 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 for this. Like
that
I'm not
point.
going to be held. I'm not going to be held liable.
All three of these. Also, John Morant's mom was
Maybe in some cities I could see that, like
But-
in New York.
I mean, look at New York, dude. Had
Well,
the
hold on.
audacity to
This is a fact.
spit.
This is a fact, though. Hold on.
Yeah,
They happen on different days.
Hold on, what say, John?
They happen on different days. So,
But all in 1 week, though.
yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. The person from the spit game, and there was something in the popcorn guy got banned indefinitely already.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And they said they were contacting authorities. The guy in the Celtics game happened 2 days after. So he would have seen on the news already that the two people before him got banned and authorities were being seeked.
Did they see that they suffered the consequences, or see the action of the popcorn being thrown, or
No, that's what I'm saying.
whatever?
Every news channel every sports news channel covered the
Popcorn and spitting and all that stuff. Yeah,
all
yeah.
of it. So that player, I mean that person who did the bottle at Kyrie knew that the people before him already got indefinitely banned and authorities were looking for them, but still chose to do it. So that's why I'm saying, even though like it's like I get the abolish the police, there is still police in the venue. There are still police there. You physically see the police there.
I mean, I understand that they're there,
So
but the
it's like-
sentiment of them enforcing the law, period, that fear is not there anymore. They've been hampered heavily on their ability to enforce the law.
Well, I could see it as like a
And I feel like that's an
symptom.
extreme way to describe it, but go on, Doc, sorry.
I can see it as like a symptom of maybe not even a symptom, like not specifically the defund, unless it's like certain cities where that movement,
Like Portland,
was-
for example.
yeah, like was really strong. I think it's just like in the country as a whole, unruly is the zeitgeist right now.
I can agree to that.
Because all over the place, like people have just been unruly because everyone's stressed out with the virus, everyone's stressed out with the police, and everyone's stressed out with authority. Like the government lied. Everybody's like, what the fuck? Like everyone's just in a state
Okay.
of like fuck
Yeah.
everything.
I can agree.
So I can
Left.
totally see why people would be acting like this if we were to go into like that general, like I said, zeitgeist, that vibe
gotcha.
of what the country's feeling.
I understand what you're saying.
Last year before the finals, during the finals, we had Kyle Lowry. I think he was pushed or punched or something weird by somebody in the front row. So, in my opinion, this isn't new.
Oh, it's
In my
not
opinion,
new,
this is
but
even an
all
uptick.
this that we just showed happened in 1 week, so
In
it's
1
at
week.
least spiked. The degree
For
of the
week.
degree of the
Yeah,
spike.
yeah. But there's a dynamic that exists here.
Exactly.
Now, my problem is, I'm not going to say it's racist at all, but it always seems to be white men and a
Well,
black
I don't know.
guy.
The spit looked like it didn't come from a white man.
The spit definitely came from a white guy.
I don't know.
That guy's got arrested already.
Oh, he got
Yeah,
arrested.
like,
Oh, okay,
he's
okay.
a white guy. The bottle was a white guy. The
That's
popcorn was a
interesting.
white
You're
guy.
right.
I just don't know why.
That's interesting.
And that's the weird thing. So
But
I
let's
look
be
at
honest.
it kind of like when it comes to entertainment.
I don't think spitting's a black person thing. Also, like
No, no. I don't think it's racial. I mean,
Well, I'm not trying to make it racist, but like, I'm not trying to be racist here. But the act of spitting
So
on somebody,
disrespectful.
it's so disrespectful, and it happens. And I'm not trying to be racist, but it's a white person thing.
okay.
I've seen it and had it done by exclusively, in my anecdotal experience, white people.
Oh, okay,
Black
what you're
people
saying.
just don't spit on other people.
Yeah, it's
if
not
they,
it's not a
if they
thing.
do,
It's just not a thing.
it's I can't think of
Like, we
when
have
they
to
would do
die
it.
about it. It's not a thing that we do at
Yeah,
all.
anything they spit on the ground, like the floor, the ground you walk on, kind of
Mhm,
thing. But like
but-
on them, I don't know. They punch you first. Like
Like what do I even need to spit at you for if we can just
that's
fight at
not
that
the
point?
level of pain I want to cause you.
So it's just, to me, it's just weird. It's just
Yeah.
really weird. But so
Yeah.
I take it like
Yeah.
to take the race out of it. I look at it as the way Americans absorb entertainment is almost like zoo animals. And so, like,
Is it America or is that just like how humans?
human beings,
What, the spitting or like
no,
the
because
wild?
they're
No,
bad
John
in
said
soccer
how
too.
we view entertainment.
But they're bad in soccer too.
See?
But that dynamic is the same. It's
I don't know, man.
normally
I kind of chalk it back up to the unruly thing. Like, you have a guy who's watching this game, and he's probably got a shitty life because he lost something in the pandemic, and then he's watching this rich dude not do what he wants him to do, and he gets pissed off at him and frustrated with everything. Just throws a fucking bag of popcorn at him.
Yeah, I agree, but I don't like the pandemic excuse because this has been happening. Like even in soccer, black players get the bananas thrown at them. Even darker Brazilian players or darker Spanish players get like there's a weird dynamic there. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't get it. And I know these people in my opinion aren't racist. But for example, it's like when they want to okay, so let's say if I'm more than often than not, if I'm a soccer fan, right, and I want to abuse a white player, I won't abuse him. I won't abuse him racially. You suck. Your mother's a. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the second is somebody of a darker skin. That's the first thing. It's like playing Call of Duty online
Good example.
with little kids.
Back when we used to play
The-
Call
the
of Duty
first
Modern
thing
Warfare.
you gonna hear. The first thing you're gonna hear from 8-year-old little Timmy is nigga, 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 nigga. And
Let
it's
'em
just
fly.
weird. And 8-year-old Timmy is not racist. He doesn't even.
He
He
just
has no
associates that
hatred
word
in
as
his
an
heart.
insult.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, it's just weird the dynamic exists there. Like it's just weird. It's just really weird. I don't know why. I don't think those people are racist. I don't think the Boston guy, he was wearing a Kevin Garnett jersey. Kevin Garnett is the tallest black guy, one of the tallest black guys on earth. You feel me? So he he went and purchased that jersey. So it's not like it is a racial thing, but when you look at it and you just keep seeing this same dynamic, it's like, what do we have going on here?
Now, the dynamic you said, we look at entertainment like a zoo. It makes sense because like it's you could make the argument for some kind of racist lens
Mhm.
because you look down on the person in a way. Like you're entertaining me. Entertain me, peasant.
True.
Well,
That's true.
that guy probably just feels like that's the only moment he has power.
Exactly.
He's just
Exactly.
watching somebody else, but like he knows deep down that those guys are far richer than he is, and like they're
100%.
injured, and they're just
Not
like,
even the
go lay
richer
down in a
part.
$1 million bed. Like,
They will beat
Physically,
you.
exactly.
I
Like
will beat you.
like John said earlier in this conversation, with Westbrook in an interview said, do you think he'd feel as comfortable doing that out on the streets?
Oh, please, last on the topic.
nah.
Bring up Kevin Durant on the incident. Kevin Durant's quote on the incident, please.
YouTube?
No, you can type it anywhere.
Oh, okay.
You
On
can
which one, the spitting or the-
on the bottle, because he plays on the same team as Kyrie. Response to Kyrie. Hear this man's quotes.
Nah, darn ads.
You get no love from us unless you pay us.
Yeah, but I mean, it's unfortunate that this season even has to be asked. But someone tried to toss a water bottle at Kyrie, or did toss a water bottle at Kyrie as you guys were walking off the floor. Just your thoughts on just again an unfortunate act, and the fan was arrested. But just what can be done about again protecting players in situations like this.
I mean, fans got to grow up at some point. I know that being in the house for a year and a half with the pandemic, got a lot of people on edge, got a lot of people stressed out. But when you come to these games, you got to realize, man, these men are human. We not animals. We not in a circus. You coming to the game is not all about you as a fan. So have some respect for the game. Have some respect for these human beings, and have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at basketball players, or spitting on players, or tossing popcorn. So grow the fuck up and enjoy the game. It's bigger than you.
I just don't understand like the urge, even period, to want to throw something at somebody. Like, if they didn't do anything to you, and yeah, you're going there to enjoy a basketball game, what literally possessed you to throw something at somebody?
People go to concerts and do this.
It's
Lil
like you
Wayne
said,
has
though,
walked off
the
shows.
guy probably felt like he had power. Like he felt like he got attention. Like he needed some kind of he just kind of needed attention.
Americans just want to be heard.
That's it. It's bigger than you.
All right, let's transition to Florida punk rock gig to charge vaccinated people $18 a ticket and non-vaccinated people $1,000, but could fall foul to Governor DeSantis' strict anti-COVID passport laws. So let's read this real quick, see if we get any more information, then let's react. So a punk rock concert promoter says unvaccinated people will have to pay almost $1,000 to attend an upcoming gig, while those who have had their COVID shots will get in for just $18. Paul Williams has set an unusual ticket price structure for an upcoming gig in St. Petersburg, Florida, by punk band Teenage Bottle Rocket. Fans will have to provide proof of vaccination to get the cheaper tickets. Quote, we're just trying to do a show safely, and they should go out and get vaccinated to protect themselves and their families and their community, unquote, William told ABC of the potential concert goers. It seems like you're forcing your personal beliefs and opinions on other people. William said he wasn't sure he could legally bar unvaccinated patrons from the show, which is slated for June 26th at the St. Petersburg VFW post number 39. So instead, he came up with the unusual price tier. We're gonna let them in. We're not gonna out them, he said. Nobody's gonna know that they're the person that bought the ticket, and they'll be treated just like everyone else. There are 250 tickets available to vaccinated people for the St. Petersburg show, and four for unvaccinated concert goers. So far, Williams said there have been no unvaccinated takers. Yeah, because that's a ridiculously high price to attend. Like, okay. But by asking for proof of vaccination, Williams could be running afoul of an executive order signed in April by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, which prohibits businesses in the state from requiring patrons or customers to produce documentation that they have been vaccinated to gain access. Last paragraph, then let's talk about it. At the time, DeSantis said, quote, it's completely unacceptable for either the government or the private sector to impose upon you the requirement that you show proof of vaccine to just simply be able to participate in normal society, unquote. So,
Can I?
Go for it.
Scroll up.
I mean, honestly, I don't have a problem with it. Like, to me, the vaccination issue is
None of them are teenagers.
it's not been ridiculous to me. That one statement where they're like, "Oh, you're being excluded from normal society because of vaccines." Dude, you need vaccines to go into public school. Like, you have already lived in this type of society where you need to be vaccinated to participate in normal society.
I mean, the
So,
difference,
to me,
though,
this
is
isn't different.
those are established vaccines that have been around for a while that have been, put through the ringer. This new vaccine, which people have I would argue, justifiable concerns about, which is a completely new vaccine, a completely new method of vaccination, and it's only in
People argue the same thing about the previous vaccines because they cause like fucking autism and stuff like that. And it's just like, dude, you got to take the chance. Otherwise, like, if you want to live on the outskirts, then that's cool, do it.
But that argument for those vaccines have been around for years.
They still say they cause autism and they give childbirth later and stuff like
that's
that.
why those arguments aren't as strong. That's
say-
why I agree with you on that stance. But in this stance, this vaccine is literally 5 months old, and it's a completely new way of vaccinating people. And now we're trying to adjust society to navigate in a way to.
Are we going to not talk about the band?
It is scary. My only thing with it is that, like,
it just seems like a really what's the word? A fast. Just seems unnecessary. Like the way we're trying to adapt and whatnot, it seems unnecessarily fast. Like, let it progress naturally. Like, if we want to incorporate this new vaccine into schools, as you use an example of, or traveling with airports, or even what they're trying to do when it comes to concerts, I don't necessarily disagree with it because you're right. It's trying to be safe and keep everyone from getting sick and becoming infected. But the problem is using a level of, and this isn't government, but as DeSantis said, government, even the private sector, this soon seems really, really unnecessary. Like, you're doing it way too fast. It's almost getting to the point, and I do agree with this, you're forcing it on people. Let people naturally feel comfortable with it, and they'll do it. Right now, because of the speed and forcefulness of it, is making people more uncomfortable and enticing them, I would argue, entice them even more likely to not want to get it.
Well, there is like vaccine hesitancy, and so they're trying to combat it with it's essentially propaganda. Like,
exactly.
I saw it today on the bus where it was just like, get jabbed and like serve your community. And I was like, I was like, this looks like Starship Troopers.
Come on. Come on.
The T-shirt I had.
So,
said,
but
I got
to me,
vaccinated
it's not
to
like
help my community.
It's not like join the war, do this. It's like, no, dude, like,
it's
eat
a similar,
the virus. Like,
it's a
you
similar
have to
sentiment, though. It changed the word join the war, join the community. Because that's what the vaccine people are becoming. They're becoming their own little community, and it sounds like a cult.
Y'all are killing me. Y'all are not really.
I
Okay,
mean,
real
it-
quick, real quick pause. Let's
Hold
address
on.
the band real
Hold
quick.
on.
John really wants to address
They
the
called
band.
them a teenage punk band first and foremost. Where is the teenager there? Then
I
their
don't think
name is Teenage Bottle Rocket. Do I have to do look at the other two? Look at the last two members. Now, what do you think their name is talking about? Also, his T-shirt, does that say Peni?
I have no idea.
yeah, I can't
Rudimentary
really tell.
peni.
That one says
Yeah,
Def Leppard right there. This one is that what it says rudimentary peanut.
That's what I thought it read
Is
too.
that a band?
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Honestly, I don't keep up with punk rock.
Me neither. And they're not going to even sell the 250 tickets. Like who is like? Come on, son.
No, I agree with you on that aspect. Like the fact that you even try to do this promotional strategy would actually prevent people from actually wanting to see your band.
Like,
And
come
are,
on, son.
I don't know if they're popular or not. If they are popular, like they probably won't have problems selling tickets. But if they aren't popular, like this is gonna really hamper y'all's ability to
But
sell
I'm
tickets.
saying off this picture
don't
alone,
know,
I can
man.
see why
'Cause,
they would. I can
like,
see
It's
how
bad
they would be
publicity.
this liberal.
Well, I disagree because, like, punk rock, all this stuff, like, it's all, it it's liberal at its core, and
But it's
the
liberal.
the conservative like view. We're in a weird time where like I feel like there are a lot of conservatives and like right leaning people that live in the country, but they're suppressed in the mainstream, and so this is mainstream now. And
Exactly. So
so
it's not necessarily
liberals,
punk rock. That's exactly my argument.
well, punk rock has always been liberal. The thing
Fair.
was
But it's
that
always
it
been
was
about pushing against the system, and this isn't pushing against the system. This is conforming to the system.
yeah. Things are a little wonky because before the right was on top
To
and that
say
was the
the
majority.
least.
So punk rock was pushing against the system, but now we've turned the tables. At least
So
in the
it's
mainstream,
punk country
according
now.
to like media and stuff like that. So this is mainstream. This is no longer against the system. This is the system, and it's weird. It's definitely inverted. But because I'm thinking of that in that way, most of their fans are probably vaccinated by now, so they're just gonna get their regular show.
That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
that's why I say like I don't know. Like you're right. Depending on the fan base, punk rock tends to be lean more liberal, and like I said before, like they're probably not gonna have a problem selling tickets. I just feel like it was a necessary promotional stunt because when you do concerts, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you to grow your fan base, is it not?
100%.
I don't think by doing this you're gonna grow your fan base. Instead, you're just gonna stay neutral.
Well, actually, they might.
I don't see the
Just
growth here. If
depending
anything, you
on
might lose fans.
depending on if the populace
And
is
it
more
depends on their
liberal.
fan base. If they're all like, "Yeah, we're all vaccinated, we're
Well,
cool,"
they have a
and they
well.
all
No,
show up and do
my,
their
my
thing.
point is they have a fan base. The fan base isn't going to change, but now by making this very
They've
clear,
ostracized part of it.
exactly, they ostracize any future fans they could potentially grow, acquire,
Unvaccinated fans could just check their
or
Tinder
even
profiles.
conservative people who are vaccinated who don't like this very clear
True.
conforming, if that's the proper word to use in this. I don't think it is, but one that came to mind. But then another, I guess, to back up this conversation is even in the what is the Mariners? They now have a fully vaccinated fan sections and rewards. So if you're vaccinated and can prove you're vaccinated, they give you special privileges. I discounted like got your vaccine, $10 or $20 seats and rewards are now available for fully vaccinated fans through June 2nd. You got exclusive access to the T-Mobile Pen and Trident decks, SAE Us Rise Marines t-shirts, 20% discount on food and beverages, and 20% discount on the Marines team store. It just seems, it goes back to the point I made earlier. If the goal is to make this more acceptable and more normalized, because like you said also, Doc, we already have something like this with other vaccines when it comes to schools and travel. Like for example, when we went to school at Texas State, we had to get the whatever vaccine before we actually were able to
meningitis?
go. Exactly. But the thing is, this vaccine is new. It's 5 months old. The fact that they are force feeding it down our throats, at least in my opinion, my perspective, is extremely uncomfortable and I would even say suspicious. Like, if you really want us to accept this and be okay with this, why are you trying to force it down my mouth?
Okay, I'll say this.
I think
This
it's
is
because a lot of
less
people are
egregious.
hesitant. Because you are right, it is dangerous,
This
and
is a
it's
lot.
like, I kind of like the reason I got it is because, for one, I actually do believe in the whole like protect the community thing. Like I'm a part of a community. Like without it, like I would have to fight for food and shit like that. So I have to rely on my community. So I don't mind getting something, and it even actually kind of feels like ballsy in my mind, where it's just like, dude, like I don't know if you guys played Halo, but in Halo they put them through like all the procedures and stuff to turn them into the super soldiers, and they sent them like they gave them all the shots and stuff like that, and they see if their like bone density increase and stuff like that. So when I went to go get my vaccine, I had that in my mind where I was just like, holy shit, like this is like a Master Chief moment where I'm like, I'm gonna see if my body can take it, and let me see what happens, because a lot of the Marines that try out for the Master Chief program, or the kids actually, they die, and only like Master Chief and like a few others make it through. So I had that mentality where like, well, fuck it, let me see it. I've got asthma. It's not gonna make it any worse. It'll actually make it better if it works, and it'll also help my community. And it is scary. Like I was terrified. So I understand the incentives that they're putting out there for people that are like, dude, you got vaccinated. Like it was frightful. You did it. Here's some rewards. Here's some things. And this is actually one thing I don't understand with liberal cities where they're like, we're keeping the mask regulations. I was like, no, losing the mask should be a reward for having gone through that fear and pushed through the barrier. So I respect like what they're doing with the baseball stuff and giving all that stuff away for people that can prove their vaccination.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, about to finish
I was gonna say the baseball one is obviously less egregious than
the punk rock
the
one.
punk rock one.
I'd agree to that. Yeah.
I'll say that I don't mind the baseball one. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't flare me up. It doesn't irritate me because it just seems like more of an after reward than incentive. Because it's, am I really gonna, for 20% off hot dogs, I'm gonna go get vaccinated?
Yeah.
You
The
know what I'm
incentive's
saying?
not really there.
The incentives aren't like really there, even for the show.
It seems like they're trying to make a statement more than anything, in my opinion.
Exactly, like, hey, we're vaccination friendly, so we'll just
Yeah.
throw some shit, and then again, vaccinated sections. If you're vaccinated, you don't need a section because you're vaccinated. I just don't get this thing. This is what blows me about all this vaccinated shit.
No,
Why are they trying to stick together?
No, I'm right there with you. It makes it completely unnecessary. Like I just said, it seems like you're
You're
trying to make a
vaccinated.
statement more than anything. And if the whole goal is to promote vaccines, this is not the right way, because what you're doing is you're shunning people. When I hear this, I hear one people good, one people bad. That should not be the message. Like it's I'm sorry, it's dumb. It's not
Identify as
well thought
vaccinated.
out. It's short-sighted. It's naive.
That's why I've been lying.
That's why I've been lying. That's why you got that dumb shirt that you did.
Hey, I got vaccinated.
I
in
think
my
like,
community.
okay, I do see that point. So do you think they should just take a nihilistic approach? Just be like, you get it or you didn't. I don't care if you kill your grandmother. I don't give a fuck. If you didn't, I got mine and I survived it. I'm a badass. You do whatever you want.
Maybe
Would
that's
you prefer
fucked up.
that?
Maybe it's fucked up of me, but yeah, because the problem, it seems like you want someone to adopt your moralistic standards.
But you're vaccinated.
Like, I get what you're saying. Like, for example, what you said, you got vaccinated because you want to help out the community because you are part of a community. I
then
get
hopefully
that,
grandma
and
got vaccinated
that's
too,
great of
right?
you. But then for you to then try to impose that level of morality on someone else is when I think you're
But-
taking a step too far.
Okay, so let me throw.
So let them
hardball at
suffer
you
the
then. Let me-
consequences. If they
well,
go
let
out in
me-
public and they get infected, like they get their, like John's trying to say, their grandma infected,
But
then
grandma
hopefully
should be vaccinated.
Let me throw a
they should
curveball at
be,
you
honestly.
then. Do you believe that religions like Christianity should recruit people then? Because they do it under the same guise.
No,
that morally they're trying to save your soul.
My issue, yes, I'm stemming here. I don't mind them trying to promote the vaccine. My only issue is the way they're doing it is, like I said earlier, it's short-sighted, it's naive, and it's the wrong message. It's an outcast thing, and I have the same opinions about when people go on missions trying to promote their Christianity, their religion. What you're doing is you're not making people feel comfortable and welcomed. You're making them feel ostracized and evil and bad. Like how I live my life is wrong. You don't want to tell someone how they're living their life is wrong. How are you going to recruit them by telling them they're wrong? You're already starting off on a rocky footing. And that is the same thing in this situation. If I'm trying, let's apply your example to this. If I'm trying to recruit you from being an unvaccinated person to a vaccinated person, why am I going to start off by telling you being unvaccinated is wrong and you're a menace to society because you're not helping the community? How is that?
No, but listen,
Like,
listen.
I don't.
But listen, Gene. Who are you menacing? If the vaccine is readily available to all, which it is currently, correct? Everybody who is at risk should be vaccinated, correct?
I agree. Yeah.
So, at this point, the unvaccinated people are only harming themselves.
Yes, I agree with that. Because the
So
people who are more at risk
now
are the
it
ones who got
actually
access
has
to the vaccine
nothing to do
first.
with the community unless you're talking about
Yes. Okay.
position.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're the engineer of the community and you're risking yourself, so therefore
I'm following.
you're affecting the whole community as a whole.
Okay.
But that is not the point of view.
That's not.
The point of view is you can make the community sick, but you're vaccinated. So if it should be at this point, I can understand if the vaccine wasn't readily available, then there's kind of like nuance to it. But if it's readily available at this point, everybody who should be vaccinated or has opportunity to get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to get the vaccine, it's more on just you, in my opinion, right now. At this point, it's more on the individual, and so to keep steering that narrative as far as like it being for the greater community. As far as it being for the greater community, I just don't see that being true anymore.
I don't either. Because it goes back to the example Doc used about the Christian thing. Like, I don't like it when, specifically Christians, but it's all religions honestly do the recruitment. I don't like it when you try to utilize fear to bring someone into your sect. And this is, I would argue, this is the same thing. You're trying to use fear to get people to want to get vaccinated. I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. That's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, but
So,
like I said, I'm not.
where do
I'm
you
not
see
bothered
people
with the
doing
game.
this though? Like
Doing what?
like shaming non-vaccinated people. I guess like the punk rock show is like the first like stint I've seen of this. Because most of the time, what I see, which kind of spooked me,
I
was
just got the most
with
egregious
the-
ones. I've seen some of them, but I just got the most egregious ones, which is these two things. But there is shame going on. Like for example, some people, even though they're vaccinated, they still wear their masks because they don't want to be viewed as a conservative. That is that's part of that is shame because they think lesser of conservatives. That's a shaming thing.
No, I think
There's-
it's dumb. Like
It's
I was
it's
saying,
completely
like
dumb,
I
but
feel
there's,
like
there's
if you
examples
get
of it.
vaccinated, you should be able to take off your mask. Like I see some businesses that are just like scared because they don't want to lose customers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the norm to just wear the mask, so they're holding it out for a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like if you, man, if I die in a year because this shit like did some cell fucking like degeneration or some shit, I want to wear my mask. I want to take my mask off for that year, bro. Like, so that's when I got it. I was just like, well, that should at least be my fucking reward. And
Do you know
it's weird that like some liberal cities, like I don't mind
I
living in a
agree with
liberal
that.
city. I just think it's weird that they want to hold on to their leash, and they should take that off, especially if they're the most accepting of the virus, the vaccine.
All right, last point. Let's change
This is like
topics.
Lyft and Uber
But
drivers who are
yeah,
vaccinated.
the
only
things I've been
picking up
seeing is like
vaccinated.
it's more propagandic, where it's just like do your part for your community and stuff like that. And it kind of spooked me because I don't know, like I went to class a lot and learned about propaganda, so seeing it, I'm just like, holy fuck, that looks crazy. But
Yeah, I would agree.
but I feel like it's actually what you're I don't know, like the right way to do it. Like I've never seen anybody be vaccine shamed or non-vaccine shamed in public or anything like that. So
I mean,
It's-
not to
it's an-
attack you, but
it's
you
an
do
everyday
live in Austin, a
conversation.
very liberal, heavy city. So the odds of you coming across someone getting shamed are low because someone who's going to be anti-vax there, or at least anti this particular vaccine, is incredibly low.
I don't think it's a shaming of like a public shaming. I think it's happening like I
Fair.
see it at
Okay,
work.
good point. That's a good
Like
point.
I see it in
That's a good
small
point.
doses at work. Like the people who got vaccinated. Oh, have you got vaccinated?
well, even in like
No,
conservative
like-
places, like I've gone to Mathis and stuff like that, and I've visited other places in Texas that are super conservative, and I feel like I'm the only one in the room with an overshield, and I'm just like, I don't care, man. You guys do whatever you want. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause you're
that's
not
you-
like that
that's
too,
you.
like,
But
yeah.
I'm saying like there are people like and there's random people. I'm not saying it's everybody. I'm just saying I don't think it's a public thing. I just think it's a sentiment that's shared between.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's somebody at my job who, oh, you getting a vaccine? You got vaccinated? Oh, why not? Oh, you know, it's actually supposed to. And then they'll start trying to
Sell you it.
sell you the vaccine.
Yeah.
And that's why when he made the point about religion, I was like, oh,
That's a
okay,
good point,
That's
yeah.
a really good point.
It was a good
But
point.
I also do feel the same way about religion.
Yeah, me
though.
too. Yeah, I was
So,
like, dude,
yeah.
like my
Yeah,
opinion
I'm
still
right there.
stands.
Like I'm right there with you. Like I do not.
Before we change topics, I want to preface, like, I have nothing against the vaccine. If you want to get vaccinated, go for it. My issue only is with the negative messaging out there and the force feeding of it. Like, I don't agree with forcing a populace to do something that they don't want to do. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. Whether it's good for the community or bad for the community, we really don't know yet.
I have a problem with anybody putting their opinion over anybody else's opinion.
Yeah.
That's literally, I'm very consistent about that. And
So I
it's
did
just
see like this special where they had a counselor that was trying to essentially coerce like strict conservatives to get the vaccine. It was an interesting special, and the only argument he said that I was like, that one might hit, because you could see it in their face where they were like, oh, okay, I'm think about that one. And the only argument I said, the only argument I heard him say was something about like personal responsibility. Like he asked them, he's like, so you would say that conservatives believe in personal responsibility, right? And he's like, so
Yeah.
that's why you want to come to the decision yourself to get the vaccination and stuff like that. He's like, so do you not feel personally responsible for those around you, as opposed to just yourself for doing that? And that's like the only argument I remember seeing the guy kind of wince at and be like, okay,
a conservative,
think
a
about
real
that, 'cause
conservative
you have
would
to
say
think about
no.
like his family and stuff like that.
A real conservative would say no.
That's the
I'm
only
personally
implication I've
responsible
ever
for
seen.
It's
It's
an
myself.
individual
It's
responsibility. They're
individuals.
about individual
It's
responsibility.
exactly. And then
Yeah.
also on that point,
That's the
like we said,
only
if
like
who's around me that's
video
not
I've ever seen
vaccinated?
of people shamed outside of some kind of like passporting stuff like that. But
So they're talking
the
about
one thing that I really, really want to know is when businesses go back to offices, though, will you need a passport? That's where I feel the shame's going to happen. Where it's
Like
going to
John's-
be
like
you
John
can't
used
come
his
in,
example.
you can't come in. We need you. Sorry, CEO said everyone has to be back in the office. If you can't come into the office,
but
tough
who
luck.
are you
Find another
risking?
job.
This is my question. Who are you risking?
You're
when
vaccinated.
they say, hey, personal responsibility for your whoever, who? Another unvaccinated person who chose not to get vaccinated? I'm not responsible.
They're still taking personal responsibility. Like, I'm not getting vaccinated. I understand the risk, and I'm still doing this. That is them taking personal responsibility.
Now, if we see somebody who get vaccinated,
See, I think though
and-
this is where the scuffle's going to happen though,
We're going down the
because
rabbit hole with this one.
corporations have a lot of power in the United States. So even though the
Yes.
government's saying one thing, the corporation can be like, I don't care, dude.
Yep.
We're gonna fire you
Yep.
if you don't come in without a passport,
Facts.
and that's gonna be
An issue. That's gonna
an
be,
issue, yeah, in
Yeah.
the future. Where like this punk rock show is gonna look like a fucking bitch compared to
Yep.
when Amazon does that shit.
Yep, I completely agree. All right, let's take a left turn to Abba and Preach did a reaction video to, I think this was I don't know if they personally sent this to them or it was a Reddit post, but pretty much a husband's wife chose to get an abortion for an odd reason, and we're going to react to the odd reason. So here's the title. My, quote, 25 male wife, 29 female, aborted our baby over astrology. So here comes...
Wait,
Put
what
the
was
headphones for
astrology?
Doc.
What was the baby gonna fall under?
I will read it in front of you.
Here, just listen to
Wife got
that.
an abortion because the child would be a Sagittarius. I'm upset because we're trying for a child.
That's
It's gonna be a
TLDR.
Sagittarius. Yeah, I get why she did it.
Doc.
Sag.
Just fucking around.
Issues run on both sides of the family, so we're pretty surprised to find out because we weren't exactly trying. It was one of those if it happens type of situations. The baby would have been due in December. My wife is really into astrology, tarot cards, and that sort of thing. I know Reddit has a hate boner for astrology, but I see it as no different than a love of cars. Oh no. She knows I'm not into it, and up until now it hasn't been a big deal in our relationship. When we first had the maybe we should have a baby talk, she started to get a little more interested in astrology, which didn't strike me as odd. What struck me as odd was her reaction to finding out when we talked about having a baby. She was super duper excited, pushing for us to get pregnant sooner rather than later. But she seemed kind of scared when she saw the results of the first test. That was in late April. Her parents had gotten into an accident in May, needed help getting around, so she moved in with them for a few weeks. During that time, she barely called or texted me. That isn't completely out of the norm, but I felt like she would be communicating more since she was pregnant. At this point, she was showing to me she didn't look super pregnant, but I noticed a difference.
Them tits got bigger.
Later, and she looked like she had lost weight. She barely talked to me and looked extremely on edge. So finally, I got her to talk to me. She just blurts out, "I aborted the baby!" I was at a loss for words. I was just staring at her. So she was trying to
play some sick on me. And she went on to say that she felt the baby was going to be a Sagittarius. And she doesn't feel that her sun sign, isn't compatible or not a good fit for a mother-child bond.
She read that somewhere too.
All right, so that's pretty much the summary of the message that was sent to them that they read out. Oh no, I think there's a little bit more. They're just now reacting to that last line. So I screamed at her. I said nasty things. She said nasty things back. She told me that it's her body and her choice, and she's right, but I don't get to feel bad too. I'm sleeping on the couch right now, and I'm trying to figure out my life from here. And I think that's pretty much end. Yeah, that's the end of it. So,
Dude, ditch her.
You gotta leave, bro.
dude, that was my first question. Would you stay, or would you continue the relationship?
You gotta leave.
Fuck no, dude. Because if she's that, like, if she
You
can
gotta
turn on a
leave.
dime like
Yeah,
that
you gotta leave.
for something crazy serious like that, then who knows what down the road she's going to turn on.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I dealt with almost let the B word slide. I dealt with a human being that I don't know if you've ever heard, but if you drop the blunt, it means somebody is having relations with your female or your
I've never heard
significant
that.
other.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, right? So when you drop the blunt as kids, or like not kids, but teenagers. Oh, somebody fucking your bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this girl dropped the blunt and texted me in the middle of the night. Tell that bitch blah 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 blah.
Yeah, dude, life's weird
Really?
right now, man.
And
Because I wonder where they were at where she was able to do it, man. Because Texas just passed that like no zero tolerance like abortion thing, and I feel like that's too far on the other end of the spectrum because it doesn't even exempt rape victims. I'm like, yeah,
So-
like
That is too far. That's a little wow. So before we
Yeah.
get down to the abortion discussion, I want to talk more about the horoscope thing a little bit because
I'm about
that's
to
what
say,
baffles
actually,
me is
honestly
that she
speaking-
made this decision based off of astrology.
Can we stick
So-
on that part and not talk about the abortion?
yeah, I feel like
Well, the
that's
reason
the
why, 'cause
other
I
side.
got-
But it's
it's
too
the
far
other
on the
s-
other side. Like, what the fuck?
So because I want to tie in this video to the conversation, so we kind of have
Okay.
to go down it. So that's why. So
Okay, I mean, like you mean I'm talking about like the my body, my choice type.
no, I don't want
conversation.
to go down
yeah,
that conversation.
I don't want to.
Like whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I just want to say real quick on this one before we go down the second half of this conversation is just the horoscope thing. So first off, do you guys believe in horoscopes and astrology and whatnot?
I believe.
I think they're fun and to an
Yeah.
extent. Like honestly, inside me, I really want them to be real. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like
but-
it brings a little
Clarity or something?
Understanding.
clarity, order to personalities.
Also, it
But
makes
I mean,
it makes the
I'm a
universe
fucking
smaller.
millennial, man. I like personality things.
Yeah. Like it makes the universe smaller for me. So like if something about the sun, the moon, and stars or whatever equates to some type of difference in me,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that's dope. But I still believe that everything was created. So like
No,
as
exactly.
much as
Exactly.
far as that goes, like I just can't. I can't have somebody tell me, "Oh, I'm having a bad day because the sun, the moon, and the stars are aligned this way." Like,
So I had this conversation with someone before who's really into astrology. One of their friends is like they do readings apparently. Like I don't know if that's business of theirs, but they make money doing readings. And my explanation was I do not believe in astrology, but I do believe in a creator, obviously God. And if God created the stars and there are messages written in the stars, I can believe that.
yeah,
But my issue is how you interpret those messages. Who are you to accurately interpret those messages? How do you know what you're reading and interpreting and seeing is what God is actually meaning for you or us to read, interpret, and see?
I think the stars, in my opinion, have less to do with our personalities, and in my opinion, I think there's a map.
Fair. No, I can agree to that. I can agree to that. It's just now the problem is I don't think anyone on this world, to my knowledge, and I'm pleading ignorance here clearly, to my knowledge, can accurately read and map the stars for a level of translation to something for us to understand. So that's why when people, like example this, try to use astrology to
Sag.
navigate life is wrong. Like I don't know. I just feel like when you hear someone's opinion about your particular sign and what is it your what is it, rising, descending,
Ascending
whatever,
or whatever it is.
in that,
your moon sign,
yeah,
air
whatever that
sign,
stuff is.
or whatever.
I feel like you got to always remember, take it with a grain of salt, because how do you know this means what it means?
She's like the hyper super. She's probably hyper superstitious in general. Like if she wasn't gonna find it in astrology, she would have found it in some
Somewhere
religion
else.
or some cult or something like
She's
that. Something
what's the
crazy.
word? She's susceptible,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Malleable.
Yeah, she super buys into it because I like the aspects of astrology that are personality based. Like I like the cusp thing. I like the moon stuff and like the
It's
this is
interesting
like
for
your
sure.
your personality, the stars in it, and like it represents like your element and stuff like that. I love that shit. I hate the like this month you will be happy is this if the sun is out and it's just like I better stay out in the sun so that I can have a good month. Like that stuff's the weird shit, and that's where I
Yeah.
kind of draw the line.
Yeah.
Or the daily shit, like, watch out, a bitch will try you today. And so now you're on edge.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde.
Careful,
so
Yeah.
whatever the signs that are affected by it, wherever they say.
For some
like,
reason, I think of Michael Jackson moonwalking.
Yeah, because then it
every
gets
time I hear
scary because it's
Mercury's
just
in
like, oh
retrograde.
man, it's a bad month for you. And be like, fuck, I should better not go outside. Like,
now it is gonna be a
can't
bad
do
month
it.
because you put this
Yeah.
negative energy on yourself. Like if you
Yeah.
actually never heard of that, would you have had a bad month? Would you
I
have?
don't know.
It goes down to the theory of if you see the future, are you actually are you running away from the future or are you running towards it because you've seen it? Once you see it, it's gonna happen.
I think it's a lot less fun too. I don't know. Maybe I just like
A
riding
good way
around
to
in the
dodge
chaos, but, like,
accountability.
it's a lot more fun when you don't know what's gonna happen. You're just like, well, I'm gonna try to make it work and see what
Let's
goes
get it
down.
popping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe that's my chaos side because I agree with you.
to this note, like I used to date a girl that would do my tarot card readings, because she was trying to like practice it and do that stuff, and I don't know if it was like I don't know the level to the belief that she had in what she was doing as some kind of magic, but I did notice that it for me was like a conduit of meditation. Like she would show me a symbol and would be like, "Are you thinking about something negative?" And obviously, like everyone's got like negative thoughts, and I'd be like, "All right, well, let me focus on that idea of whatever that negative thing that's bothering me has been," and it would kind of like it would almost like give me a roadmap of how to think. And so I would ponder things and then feel better after having pondered it because it was like it kind of brought order to the chaos that was in my head every now and then. But there was a stretch where I was doing it like every 2 weeks, and that was too much because that's when I noticed that it was starting to literally organize the way I thought, and it almost felt like addictive to the sense to where like if I didn't get the next week, I was almost at a loss, and that's kind of where I fell into the like maybe I just shouldn't know, and I should just kind of go with what I'm thinking about. But I did learn that meditative practice, and so I now kind of practice it a little bit on my own outside of like the symbolism that she was doing with the tarot card reading. But I can see people gravitating towards that and maybe even getting addicted to it and wanting, like, this lady who's just completely far gone, wanting to have a birth at a certain cusp or something like that to get a certain personality type for a baby. It's like fucking Pokemon when they're like re-rolling Pokemon to get different types.
Yeah.
I think I think as far as astrology goes, it's more because there's daily stuff and monthly stuff, and it's actually very layered and complex. It just allows more. It allows more people to dodge accountability, but I think it also allows more of an explanation for why things happen. And people
An
always
excuse,
want.
I would argue.
No, but I'm saying
I
people
know
are
what you're
looking.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
looking for a reason for why things happen to them,
Yeah.
like constantly, and they want it to be out of their
They
control.
want
If
some
it's
kind of
a-
understanding.
ex-
We're all
they want-
seeking understanding. Yeah,
exactly, and they want it to be out of their control if it's negative. You know what I'm saying? But it's just they want these things to not. They want them to make sense, and so there's more, if you will, explanations in
Yeah, like we said
astrology.
when we first started this conversation, Doc and I, level of clarity and order or something like that.
Yeah. And so
All right,
that's
so let's get in the second half of this conversation now. So there's this other video that went viral on TikTok of a woman. I'll play it real quick and I'll describe it. So you got this TikTok video right here.
Oh my god, guys.
Crying.
I'm freaking out.
She's freaking out. Holds up a pregnancy test and it's positive.
What am I gonna do? Just kidding, I already scheduled the appointment.
Tossed it. Pours a glass of wine.
I am what conservatives fear. Fuck, that's good.
So
I feel like these are just people like on the other side of the spectrum, man. Because I watch a lot of YouTube videos of people who like make their shows out in California, and lately, I feel like they've been acting the way hardcore conservatives used to act previously, in the sense that like
he's just trolling.
they they literally like judge and even kind of condescend like the other group because of it, and that's where I see like a huge divide. Where I was like, whoa, like I always thought liberals were super accepting of everything. But no, they have their own prejudices just as much as the conservatives do, and I'm just like,
100%.
dude, y'all, you're just on the other side of the fucking fence, man. Like,
100 fucking percent. Like that I don't, bro. I'm not even finna talk about her too much. Like, she's just a troll to me. She's just one of those crazy theater teacher looking. You know what I'm saying? Like she did that 100 times. She practiced throwing the
Like how many
pregnancy
times she throw the
test.
pregnancy test, how many
Like
times she
she
fake
filled the
laughed, how many times
wine. Like, yeah, like all of that is cringe to me. Like, that to
For
me is
what?
very cringe. Yeah.
For what?
Ha 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 ha. I'm what liberals fear.
Conservatives.
Like,
Yeah.
conservatives fear. Like, okay,
yeah, just a troll.
just a troll. Like, yeah.
My issue is, I guess I'm gonna do my best not to go down a controversial route. It's just because when I saw this made me think of an argument, a debate I had with a friend of ours some time ago, and this was my personal fear when it comes to normalizing abortions. Like, I'm not against abortions when it comes to rape victims or when it's affecting the woman, like her viability, like her actual life. Like, she's going to potentially die from this pregnancy. Like, should she have that option? Sure. Who am I to deny her that option of life, pretty much?
Mm-hmm.
My fear, and I feel like we're seeing this now, is abortion become an alternative to birth control. And that's clearly in these two examples what abortion was used for. A woman did not want her baby to be a Sagittarius, so she aborted the baby. Personally, I think that's wrong, and I would even go as far as say that's evil. Then we have this other woman who got pregnant from having, I don't know if it was with her boyfriend or a one night stand or what have you, but either way, it wasn't something clearly from her demeanor, wasn't something that was forced upon her or life threatening, and now she's using it as a form of birth control. Again, that is, I would argue, in my opinion, wrong and evil.
I'll say this. It's funny that something gets the word normalized, because I completely agree with you. But when white females start doing it, abortion's been prevalent in minorities for a long time.
And I still think it's been wrong. It
No,
has it's affected the
100%.
community.
100%. But now the anti-abortion thing is getting like,
More steam or something.
because of trolls like that.
Because they're more
But who would troll like that?
audacity. Yeah, exactly. Who would... That's why I use the word evil. I don't know if that's wrong or not. That's why I said, in my opinion, I would associate evil to this. Because, like, in her mind, why does she think this is a good idea to promote this decision when this decision is rooted in a selfish, in selfishness? I don't want a baby right now because it affects my life, my current life. So I'm gonna stop it.
I'm not even gonna speak. I'm not even
Like,
gonna
I'm
speak
trying.
on
I'm
abortion.
trying my best not to get too. Yeah, I don't want to get too. But I just like.
I just think that's. I think that's hilarious.
I kind of see it because for some people, like the the effect is so heavy, man, that like
There are
they,
huge effects.
they have to do it. Like sometimes people just end up making a mistake, or they are in a point in their life where they're like, I can't do this. Like, I just nothing is in sync, nothing is moving the way it's supposed to, and so they make a decision to back out. Like, clearly, this woman is just trolling, and if she actually did do it, then she is evil, like you're saying. It's just, I mean,
There's
what
no-
happens when
there's
like
no way she doesn't
a
feel
16-year-old
anything.
does it and she decides to abort it because she's scared, because she wants to actually live her life, and so she gets an abortion, and then she never does it again. You know what I mean? Like, then she lives like a good life. Then it worked. You know what I mean? The system actually functioned properly at that point in time. But if she keeps doing it and she does it like 5 times later, then it didn't work on her, and we just don't really know. It's gonna have to be an individual case for this woman. Like, for this woman's individual case, like, she's clearly abusing the system.
Yeah, that honestly is rooted. Most of my issue is rooted in that right there. That sentiment is abusing the system. Because I know of somebody who's had, I don't want to say 3. I'm not sure, confirmed 3, but I know for a fact at least 2 abortions, and you don't know, and they've continued their normal lifestyle. They didn't change anything about how they live life. They still were super promiscuous. You know, they didn't use protection. Blah blah blah. And that happened with I don't know for a fact if it was 2 or 3 different guys. I think she ended up being with the guy she got the first abortion with. I could be wrong with this, but it's just the fact that after I don't know. I don't like
She
I
a
said
cat, ain't it?
like what.
So she a cat, ain't it?
Maybe I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't like when people force their morals to other people, but it's just weird to me that you could have this because obviously having a baby and going through an abortion is I would argue and I could understand if it's somehow like it's a huge life decision and it can potentially be I guess traumatic. I don't know, but it's a heavy choice to make. At the very least, it's a heavy choice to make. And from making that heavy choice, I don't understand how that doesn't necessarily affect the way you navigate the world. How can you have that heavy choice and still not think, I don't need to change things up. What I'm doing is fine.
So I
And
would argue
and-
the opposite because I have
Okay.
met people that have done that. People that have made the decision and changed their
No, me too.
approach
No,
to
I-
how they do it.
Oh, me too, definitely. I've seen both sides. I've seen the side of when they've had to go through it and it's affected them. Like they're constantly questioning themselves. They're questioning things, and I've had to be careful with how I navigate those conversations with them because I do have strong opinions and beliefs on that I didn't want to come across mean,
Insensitive.
judgmental, or insensitive. Exactly. And then I have the other side of the conversation where someone who's just like I said earlier, it's another form of birth control, and it's kind of like, what are you doing with yourself? I don't know. It's just for me, it's weird because yes, you're right. Both sides exist. You can go do that and then understand that was a heavy decision you made, and you don't want to go through that again. So you're trying to adjust the way you navigate. And then the other side is no consequence at all. Like this is an option. It's always going to be an option. So I don't have to change up what I'm doing. It's just I don't know and like I said before, what I'm fearful of is we give a little more credence to the side of it's an option. It's not going to affect my daily life. It's like I can just do it whenever because it's an option. It's available, willy-nilly. And that is what literally, and that's what for me, that could be
That
my
willy
nihilistic
goes
side
willy.
focusing too heavily on the negative, but like it's just that's what I'm afraid of. That's when I say I don't want it to be normalized because I don't want that group of people to become normalized because that is, in my opinion, a very toxic mentality to nurture.
So what you're saying is 5. Give them 5.
back to this
Give 'em
conversation.
5.
Back to this conversation.
Damn, I fucked up.
That was
there's
funny.
2.5.
there's a sweet spot somewhere there for like
You're
that's
right,
the only
there's
thing
a
I can think
balance.
of. There's a sweet spot
I-
and a balance for all of that.
Yeah, I
for-
agree. We're just not trying to find that balance because both sides on the extreme, and I probably more on the other side than. But like you're right, there's a balance. We're not coming to it. All right, let's finish up with this reaction clip to kind of bring things down because I feel like we've been kind of talking about a lot of controversial things this episode. This is funny. So a guy who does street reactions goes up to a group of girls, and he asks them a question. Pretty much does a loyalty
Did you describe
test.
him as a guy?
What do you mean? He's
A lame ass nigga goes up to a group
snow
of
bunnies.
And let me tell you, it's flurrying. Okay, and he goes and asks them. Go ahead,
All
play
right,
it.
and that is where we play it.
Look, are you guys single or got boyfriends?
Single. Single is a Pringle. I have a boyfriend.
You got a boyfriend? Okay, so are you guys all friends with each other?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so do you guys know her boyfriend?
Yes.
All right, so can we test his loyalty? Is it okay?
Pretty Little Liars.
All right, so can I have these 2 girls call your boyfriend on one of their phones and see what they'll be down on Netflix and chill with your boyfriend behind your back? Is it okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Give him a jingle.
All right, you got the number, right?
Yeah, let me find it.
But are you nervous?
First off, I don't even do that.
No, I trust them.
You
I'm
can't
with
even have my
Ashley.
number.
We're just like, we're trying to leave, but like we don't have a ride.
Look at that devious face.
Oh.
bro.
No, can you come get us and we can like maybe hang out or something?
We kind of want to see you.
Yeah, I can do that.
But like Gina can't find out. Is that fine?
Yeah, just don't tell her.
Can we like come to your house though and hang out?
Like watch a movie, get food or something.
Just make sure you don't tell Gina.
He said yes. She said yes.
He should take the phone. He being messy.
He's so excited. He's like,
being
"Dude,
messy.
fight,
We're
fight,
like best
fight."
friends since
He's
like
on the
what,
phone still.
6th grade.
You mad at them?
Leave the confusion.
You should be mad at your man.
That's your man.
I mean, you guys called him though. Like you're literally my best friends. Crash crew. Like what the fuck?
It was for a video though.
Her
It was for a
nails
loyalty
popping.
check. Why you mad at them?
It's a two-way street. I don't know.
But I told them to call him.
All right, so that's the reason I want to talk about this video because she consents to all of this. Like, we're gonna call you. Like, Is it okay we do a loyalty test? Yes. Can we have your friends call your man? Yes. They're going to try to get him to obviously test him. Is that okay? Yes. She's been consenting to all of this. Then after he fails the loyalty test, she's mad at the friends because they called him and tested him.
And he failed.
And he failed.
Miserably.
I just don't understand that. And the reason why I brought this up
look at
is
that
because
test.
when it comes to cheating, I never understood why, no matter if it's a man or woman, why they don't get mad at the cheater, but the cheatette. I'm trying to think of the word. Like the cheater is obviously the person who's
The
with
mistress.
the
or
mistress
the,
or the Sancho, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they don't get mad at them? They get mad at their significant other. They don't get mad at their significant other. They get mad at the Sancho and the mistress. Like, I don't get that. That's why this for me was weird. I thought
Because I'll tell you why. Because somewhere in it, you're already starting to cope. You're trying to put some type of manipulation on the mistress or the Sancho and take some of the accountability away from the significant other. The significant other always gets dealt with. But the initial anger might be at the mistress or the Sancho, also because you don't know when you're going to see them again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think
So
she
get 'em when
was
you
just
can.
drunk. Yeah, I think she was just drunk and literally did not understand that. Like, she forgot everything.
She
that
didn't
happened,
look
right?
drunk, but when she finally
sounded-
started, like when anger hit her and she wanted to communicate,
She
she
sounded
did come
drunk.
across a little drunk. You're right.
And then I
Yeah,
just think
she
maybe
seemed
she
pretty
thought
slow on the
something.
uptick.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I just
I
think
think
she
it's
thought
just
maybe
that,
something
like,
was going on for real.
There's a lot of emotions that get shared with that person. There's a lot of time and history that's built with that person. There's also the same thing with your friends, but like they're not there all the time for all the heavy shit. You know what I mean? Like with a significant other, you basically can lay all the heavy shit down on them all the time. And it's not healthy, but like some people do it, or they do it more often at least than they would with like their social friends. And so if these chicks are just like her social friends, or like they're just like people they hang out with, I can understand why they would attack them before the other person.
So I think John brought up a point when we were going through the topics to talk about is what if this confirms some suspicions she
That
had of her
already-
friends?
Already.
Yeah, like why was this so easy for them, and then why did he suddenly jump on it so easily and quickly?
Mm-hmm. And girls are messy.
Yeah, dude, that guy gave him real quick. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. He was
dude.
just like, sure, okay. What
Just don't tell
time?
Gina. Just don't tell Gina. Just don't tell Gina.
Either
Like,
that-
Yeah,
damn,
dude,
bro.
dude,
Either that, or the girls had told him he ain't shit.
He didn't even
before.
pause when
I
that
mean-
one girl's just like, we can't tell Gina though. He didn't pause. He
think-
immediately was probably like rummaging through his shit for a camera. He's like, dude, I'm gonna make a porno. Fuck yeah, finally. Like
Threesome,
he's
here we
going
go.
through it. Yeah.
Menage a trois.
I think they told her either that, or I think they told her that he wasn't shit before, and she didn't listen. And
So she feels
because
embar-
they said
double
yes to the
embarrassed?
opportunity before she did.
Yeah.
They did. They
Also,
jumped on it real
maybe those
quick.
girls
They
are
already had their
fucking, like-
phones out. They were
said
ready
yes.
to go.
They said yes.
Maybe
before
John's
her.
right. Those girls are just fucking mean girls, and she's been
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with him. She hates them deep inside, and she just confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
My question also going back to the guy is maybe, like we prefaced in the previous conversation, I tend to lean a little more nihilistic, is you were out with her and now you're calling me to ditch her? I'm sorry,
I
this
would've
and
been
you're her
suspicious.
friends. I would be
I wouldn't have
hell.
fell for that
I'm
shit.
always suspicious.
I actually would have
I'm-
laughed at them on the phone.
Dude, exactly. Like, you think I'm dumb? Like, if you guys got in a genuine fight, why are you using me to get back at my girlfriend? You do realize that I'm going to tell her what y'all are doing, right? Like, that would have been my verbatim, my exact what I would have said. Like, you do know this is dumb, and I'm going to tell her exactly what y'all are doing. Like, why are y'all calling
And the
me?
funny thing is, he could have been messy too and playing along, just so he could.
I would
have
have said yes to
called
picking
her
them
on the
up
other.
and hanging out. The moment they were like, we can't tell
Nah.
Gina, that's where I would have been like, nah.
I would-
Because I'd be like,
first
yeah, I'll be
off-
cool with you. Like, you're her
First
friends
off,
or whatever. Like, if
they
you
don't
guys
need to have my
like,
number. I'm
I don't know
not
if you guys are
emergency
drunk, you need
contact.
somebody to take care of y'all, whatever the fuck, but
Nope.
the moment that second, like, criteria dropped in there, that's when it's just like, oh, fuck.
Doc already
this.
opened up too many doors.
You go for
in
it,
my
John?
opinion, Doc already opened up too many doors. In my opinion, nope. Phone number, nope.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not interested in having my girlfriend's or significant other's friends' phone numbers.
For
If
what?
they happen to have my number and they call me for something, first my question is, how'd you get my number? I got it from your
I'm
so-and-so.
not emergency.
Yeah, I got it from your girlfriend gave it to me. Okay, what's up? Why are you like? Is she okay? What's going on? Oh, we're trying to
ditch
get her.
her.
We're trying to ditch her. Why did she give you my number for you to ditch her? That's exactly. That's why seeing this is weird because like that's not how I navigate. Like, it's like there are so many systems you would have in place to
Before
prevent
that-
situations like this, or at least not prevent situations, but at least have yourself situated in a proper place to know how to handle and navigate and address the situation.
For
Like-
example, the problem right here, they shouldn't have had his number already.
I agree. Honestly, I really do.
So
Like,
now
I really do.
he should have been a call from a number he's unfamiliar with.
I agree.
And then that would automatically raise his flag or flare up. Like, whoa, y'all calling me.
His
How'd y'all
guard.
get my number?
Yeah, exactly.
How did y'all get my number? You know what I'm saying? Because she would have had to give it to him. Then my girl gave you my number and you're asking me to do what? Okay. All right. Let's go.
Give it to us just in case we all got separated and things got crazy.
I would have said,
Then why are y'all ditching her?
No, I wouldn't have did that. I was like, all right,
Yeah,
bitches.
I forgot that they said they were out with her. That's a big detail.
No, I would have been like, all right, bitches,
That'd
let's
have been really
go.
confusing.
Just know if y'all get in this car, y'all fucking. And I would have been like, Gina, I hope you hearing this, because your ass ain't getting in the car. I would have hung up.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's just people. It's just weird, dude. That was weird. The whole that was just weird. Messy. People are messy. And even still, like I agree with Doc to an extent. If you are her friends and you do somehow have my number, I'd have given you a ride, sure. But then, like, no, we're not hanging out.
I
Like,
would've
we're-
called
like,
you
we're-
an Uber.
I'll be your Uber. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll call you an Uber. I'll at least do that. I'll pay for the Uber. It's fine. I'm taking
Y'all
care
not
of.
finna-
I'm taking care of my girlfriend's friends because I'm that good of a
You're
boyfriend.
not finna place me at the crime
But
scene.
you're not exactly.
You're not finna
exactly,
place me at the crime scene.
You're not. Nope. I ain't getting got.
I'm not going out like that
Yeah, no.
at all.
Heck no.
He was at the crib minding his goddamn business. And then this
Probably
goddamn
playing some games.
Goddamn, this crusader of evil just came and
hit
spread this crusader of hate. This
Homicidal snow bunny.
man. What a wicked human being.
Are we on the girlfriend side now going after her friend?
No, I'm not even going at her friends. I'm going at this nigga.
Oh, for real though.
Yeah,
This is
what a
walking chaos.
It's
Just-
walking chaos
for
with
no
an
reason.
iPhone. God, I pray you take his iPhone from him.
He's at
This
fault for
dude's-
all of this.
He's a
This
rubbish
dude's just
human
like, let me
being.
just fuck up some people's lives today.
Oh my goodness.
All right. I think that's enough
Oh, my
fake deep thinking
goodness.
for today, guys.
That was minding his business at
Make
home.
sure you follow our YouTube page at Fake Deep Thinking.
My boy,
Follow
I'm
our Twitter
sorry.
page, Podcast FDT.
You
Also
deserve
follow
better.
our Facebook page, Fake Deep Thinking. Make sure
Wait,
you
I
leave
have
a
a
like.
question.
Go for it. Go for it real quick.
Do you think he was able to flip it when he got home?
What do you mean flip what? Like he took those girls or the boyfriend? Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy. So the boyfriend?
Boyfriend flipped
Oh,
the situation.
no way. Oh, that's a good point, actually.
I think
he
he got some space.
He might have.
I think he got some room to work. I think he got some room to work. I ain't gonna lie.
No, the way the girlfriend reacted, yeah, specifically because of her reaction, he's got some space to work.
And when she gets back home, he got to flip his shit before she can. He got to throw something real quick. Oh,
You were testing me?
tested-
All right, guys, make sure you leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Please share. It helps our channel grow. See y'all next time on Fake Deep Thinking.
See you next time at Kevin Samuel. Peace.